Southern Africa, it's enormously diverse. So for your first trip and subsequent trips, I know you'll be thinking about second and third trips, because once you've been here, you will be back. That's a given. But for your first trip, well, you have to decide what you really want out of it. So I'm going to go through the Southern African countries, and I'm going to give you a very, very broad outline. So you can get it right first time. If you're interested in big game, and that is your primary, so you're going to have a very broad experience coming to Southern Africa. But you've got to put at the top of your list, what is your priority? What is the non-negotiable? And then from there, come down. If your non-negotiable is big game, and that's the primary reason why you're coming to Southern Africa, then you need to go to Botswana or Tanzania and Kenya. All of these destinations are very expensive, even for the self-drive, particularly Tanzania and Kenya. Botswana is expensive, but not as expensive and not as crowded. In terms of the wildlife experience, it is equal to those other two. Zimbabwe is also good for game, but it's a tamer experience, because the game parks are very controlled, more controlled. Have to stay in your car, for example, and the designated campsites only, whereas Botswana, the campsites are just really in the middle of the wildlife reserves. You may camp there, so the animals are all around you, so the experience is very, very much more intense in Botswana than the others. South Africa, in terms of big game, is not the greatest destination for self-drive travellers. Kruger National Park, up north, east, very, very good for self-drive, but it's also very tame, not allowed out of your vehicles, very controlled, quite commercialised, quite busy, but you're guaranteed a wonderful experience. Kruger National Park is wonderful, but it's not really an overlander's destination. It's and you can go there in your Toyota Corolla and camp, or stay at a lodge. Okay. If you're looking for landscapes, then I would say, without question, Namibia probably heads the table, particularly desert landscapes. And South Africa is absolutely splendid. The mountains, the game parks, it's fantastic, particularly Cape Town when it comes to South Africa. Other parts of South Africa in terms of big game is quite good. Zululand, quite good. The rest of the country, there are spots that are quite good. But as a tourist destination and as experience of an African city, Cape Town, as far as I'm concerned, in South Africa, there's nothing to touch it. Beautiful, beautiful city, great food, great atmosphere, lots of things to do, wonderful, go to Cape Town. Johannesburg and Pretoria, the metropolitan centres of the big centres of South Africa, my opinion, sorry guys, don't bother, don't go there. Awful, I can't stand going to Johannesburg. I don't think Johannesburg has very much to offer the visitor from overseas at all. You can get much better and safer, because Johannesburg's not a safe city. It's a very, very violent city. But don't miss South Africa. I'm not saying that for a moment. South Africa is wonderful. It's just that part isn't at all. Botswana. Botswana is magnificent for the person that just wants to drive and find themselves in the middle of nowhere on their own in the Kalahari bush. You will see animals out of the park. One of the few countries, in fact, if I think of all the countries where you're going to see the most game outside the parks, probably Botswana, parts of Namibia quite good, parts of Zambia good. Zambia is a magnificent destination for the overlander, particularly if you want to get the sense of Africa, the sense of the people are wonderful. If you just want a really African experience, not so much with the landscapes in Zambia, they're nice, but they're not extraordinary. The game experiences, animal experiences in Zambia are fantastic. And wild wilderness overland travel, Zambia, fantastic, first rate. Probably equal to Botswana. If you're seeking culture, then Lesotho is a great place to go. Lovely place to go. Lovely people. Wild camping can be a little risky in Lesotho, So ask around, get the local knowledge, just be a little bit aware that Lesotho can be a problem. But I've wild camped in Lesotho and never had a problem, but just be aware. And of course the mountains of South Africa. Wild camping in South Africa as a rule is out. It's too dangerous everywhere except the far, far northern Cape. So the rest of South Africa is forget it for wild camping. Don't do it. Far too dangerous. If you're looking for exotic beaches, the South African Natal beaches are pretty amazing, but not as amazing because they're very well developed. Lovely beaches and everything, but very well developed. And for the overlander, not really offer too much. But Mozambique definitely does. Now, Mozambique has wild beaches all the way up its coast. There are some issues in Mozambique with crime and that kind of thing, particularly in the north. So I would avoid the northern part of Mozambique, generally speaking, but the centre all the way down, beaches, magnificent, wild beaches, great little campsites, great little lodges, great for the overlander. Southern Mozambique is pretty spectacular, but Mozambique is not diverse. It's kind of the same coastline the whole way through, all the way up. It changes as a coastline, but interior, not so much. Have we left anything out? Swaziland is nice. It's a nice cultural place to visit. It's a bit dull for the overlander, but it's not. If you're interested in the culture side of Africa and Southern Africa, Swaziland's very pretty, particularly in summer, and the people are lovely. People are very friendly, and well, I think that covers it. You've got to make your list. I suggest you make your list and your top most important list, and take it down. And then from there, you will pick the right country, because it'll be based on a criteria that you already know about. Time-wise, you need 2 weeks. Don't come for less than 2 weeks. Don't bother. You'll be just so frustrated, because it's going to take you a few days to get the vehicle, get it sorted, get used to the camping gear and all the stuff. And in some cases you might need a little bit of driver training, or certainly watch some videos about driver training, get familiar with stuff. That takes a few days. And so you need 2 weeks minimum. I look forward to seeing your posts on my Facebook page.